Hello, Martin. This is the second part of the video to evaluate your carburetors. I learned something new, that when somebody calls in when you're making a video, it stops the video. So that's why this is a two-parter for you. Let's see, last we left off, I'd taken the throttle linkage off, and this seems to be okay right here, but these balls are a little stiff, need to be replaced. The ball's socket needs to be replaced, ball ends replaced. But the most critical thing, of course, are the carburetors themselves. In terms of the throttle shafts, I cannot check the butterfly fit without taking your intake manifold off, but let's take a look at the at the throttle shaft. Let's see if we can get this on camera. Okay, there we go. So what we're looking for is how much slop or play there is between the shaft and the body of the carburetor. There should be none. That is huge. Huge. So that's guaranteed machine work right there. Let's check over here. Looking down here. Again, huge amount of slop. So full machine work, which entails new throttle shafts, bushings in the bodies of the carburetors where there were no bushing to begin with. The butterflies are new. The throttle bore, the carburetor bores are machined to where they are round and true with the throttle shafts, so that they meet like they're supposed to. The factory didn't do that very well. The orientation between the two is not always accurate. Then let's all the machine surfaces, or all the flat surfaces, will be machined and milled. And let's see what else we need to check. Make sure we don't have any cracks underneath here. Very important area. Make sure there's no cracks down here. Let's see. Let's zoom in a little bit. Actually, you need a magnifying glass to see it properly, but what we're looking for is cracks in this area right here. Clean these off so you can see better. Do not appear to be an issue. Same thing over here. Clean it off where we can see something. So. Do not appear to be any issues. All right. Let's see. Something else to consider. Intake manifold. You're kind enough to send the intake manifold along with this. And what you need to consider is this dimension right here, the thickness of the intake manifold as where it mounts to the cylinder head, because right next to it is your exhaust manifold with a similar flange, and the exhaust manifold is made out of cast iron. Intake manifold is made out of aluminum, and what happens, you've got a common washer that let's let this washer represent the common washer. And well, let's see, I can get a better example, I think. Hang on a second. All right, here we go. Common washer. Let's get this. All right. So this common washer is pressing on the aluminum intake manifold and on the cast iron exhaust header. And what happens is that you got one nut and one in the stud, and it pushes down on both surfaces. Problem is the cast iron thickness of the cast iron header stays the same over the years. The thickness of the aluminum does not stay the same because the aluminum is soft and it migrates. It will actually get thinner as with the years of being compressed. And so when you go to mount the intake manifold and put your common washer on here, what happens is the common washer is stationary and snug on the exhaust header, but there's not enough pressure on the intake aluminum flange, and the intake manifold is not really tight against the cylinder head. And that's something that you're going to have to consider. And so what we have to do is measure this with a micrometer, and then you measure your exhaust header, and figure out how much difference there is in the thickness, and then we rig up a shim to fix that. But that's something we need to discuss. Let's see if there's anything else we need to discuss or look at here, other than someone's been in here before, and you can see the stud right here coming all the way through, which is not supposed to happen. So that'll be taken care of with helicoils. Same over here. Interestingly enough, the binding screws to hold your choke cable in place, those are gone. I'm assuming you've got them, but we usually include those in a full rebuild. What else have we got going on here? Okay. Interesting, the difference here between the adjustment for your accelerator pump diaphragm. Where's my finger? There's my finger. All right, you see how many threads are showing right here, and you go over to this one over here, and there's no threads showing. So it's a difference in the accelerator this rod right here, this lever, the difference in adjustment from the two, and they should basically both be about the same. Okay, that's about all I can do right now. Anyway, the bottom line is you need a complete rebuild on your carburetors. Thanks for sending them to us.